Growing up in a multicultural city like Toronto often means navigating many identities. The Observer spoke with an Italian second-generation immigrant on how her roots and Canadian upbringing shaped who she is today.
I grew up in a very diverse area of Toronto with a lot of other people that had similar experiences in that their parents also immigrated to this country or they immigrated at a very young age. I always was aware of my Italianness, but then also aware of being in Canada and loving Canada. My parents were also very proud to be Canadians. While we had our community, they very much encouraged us to experience Canadian things. Like, my mom and dad didn't like to eat Kraft Dinner, but they wouldn't deny us Kraft Dinner. So I don't ever feel torn between two cultures.
In 2021, Statistics Canada reported that 17.6% of people in this country are second generation born here, with at least one parent who immigrated.
What we learn from studies in immigration is that the closer the two cultures are, the easier it is for these children, and as well the younger they arrive. However, when they arrive at a later age, they may find more difficulty making connections here. That is when this even has some economic implications for the children.
My dad came to Canada in the 50s. He was 6 years old. He actually came by boat, the Nicholas. It landed in Nova Scotia, Pier 21. Then they took a train from Nova Scotia to Toronto, where they had family that they stayed with here. My grandfather loved Scarborough. Scarborough was more farm. And my grandmother too asked me if she wanted to go back to Italy. She was like, no, this is my home. My mom came here, she was just married, she was quite young, only spoke Italian, but she's so resilient. She was like, I'm gonna learn this language, I'm gonna get a license, I'm gonna try different foods, I'm gonna give my kids the life of a Canadian kid. Understanding that and how much it was really hard for them to get on their feet definitely inspired me to do my best as their child and make them proud. You don't wanna make that struggle all for nothing. So they really did share that experience with me.
A lot of times the children help the parents to adapt, and there is a very nice feedback within the family in terms of integrating in the markets and making friends and all these things. So I think family is very important.
The biggest thing that was difficult was that being Canadian, but always consuming American culture through like television and movies and music, and really trying to distinguish ourselves between the two. And I remember always being like, a Canadian is not an American. That was like the definition. Well, that's not really a definition. You can't define me by what I'm not. And I think nowadays it's so much easier to define us because we do have these shared values of taking care of each other, belief in diversity, and really embracing difference. That definitely has changed. I think more when I was younger was more about the immigrant experience, whereas now it's more about shared values as a society.